Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I want to give you guys a double character review. Now, I've been wanting to review Red Hulk and Hulk separately for a while since I tier 2'd them, and I thought it would be fun to do them at the same time and be able to compare them to see where one fares better than the other and in which game modes you might prefer to tier 2 one of these characters over the other, and potentially which one is better overall. So I thought it would be a fun kind of change of pace. So as far as Red Hulk is concerned, the main pros of this character are that he has damage reduction and a heal on his 4-star passive when he's tier 2. He's got a self-buffing leadership with 60% fire damage, which is insane, and all of his skills deal elemental damage, so it's very easy to scale. In addition, Red Hulk has an excellent uniform that gives him immunity on one of his skills as part of a skill change, and it also gives him an additional heal. This is one of the best uniforms in the game for how much it changes a character. The cons to Red Hulk are that his skills take a long time to animate, particularly his 3rd, 4th, and 5th skills. It's a long animation, so he can get interrupted at times if you're not careful. Hulk, on the other hand, has fewer pros. The pros for Hulk are that his 4-star passive is fantastic, especially at tier 2. He regains more HP when it gets triggered, and he's got a very good immunity or reduction in damage, 35% plus all defense 15%, and super armor. Super armor, if you guys don't know, also gives immune to guard break, so he won't be interrupted by attacks and you don't have to roll immune to guard break on an obelisk. He also has a self-buffing leadership, and unlike Red Hulk, all of Hulk's uniforms have very snappy animations, so all of his skills take, a very short half-second to 1-second time to animate from start to finish. Unfortunately, Hulk doesn't have any good uniforms right now. This uniform does change a lot of skills, but doesn't actually do anything good for the character. No immunity, no iframes. It does give him immune to guard break as part of the uniform's bonus, but his tier 2 gives him super armor, which also gives immune to guard break. So essentially this uniform is nothing but cosmetic, just for the looks. It does look badass, but that's not enough. His other uniform, Maestro, looks a lot worse as far as the balding beard action mullet thing is going on, but this is the better uniform. The skills rotate better and more smoothly, and the extra poison physical damage is kind of useful, although it's on a 10-second cooldown. So if you're going to buy a uniform for Hulk, I would probably say don't, but if you must have one, it's better to go with the Maestro than with World War Hulk, because he gets super armor and immune to guard break anyways at tier 2. Moving on to gear options. The gear options for Red Hulk are as follows. He's got physical attack and attack speed, which is good. Physical defense movement speed, which is okay. Crit rate, skill cooldown. It's nice that he has skill cooldown on his secondary stat, which means you don't necessarily need to roll for that on your obelisk, or sorry, ISO set. And then he's got ignore defense, formerly defense penetration, and crowd control time on the 2nd slot. So he is missing HP, which makes him a little bit less tanky and gives him lower max HP than other combat characters, but otherwise he has a pretty good setup. Of course, you want physical attack or all attack on the 1st gear. I have rolled these incorrectly. I actually would change these to physical attack by level for the first 2 slots, because as the math goes, it's better to get a percentage on just the first 2 slots out of this list if I can actually roll one, and that's a pretty good number as well. I'll change the other one later. Here you want energy defense by level for the first 2, and then all defense, HP of course, and HP by level. This should be closer to 190, and this can also be changed to percentage if you can get above, I believe, 187. The last gear is going to be a combination of skill cooldown and ignore defense, depending on what you need and what you get from your obelisk set. As far as the, ISO set, I keep saying obelisk set. As far as the ISO set goes, there's 2 ways of looking at Red Hulk. If you want to use Red Hulk primarily for PvE, you want to go with an offensive set. Something like Power of Angry Hulk or Overdrive is fantastic. Hawk's Eye is not needed because he gets enough skill cooldown from his gears, both natively and on his 4th gear. As you can see here, I'm almost at 36%, and I could definitely re-roll one of these to get there. It's very easy. So I would stay away from Hawk's Eye if you can. However, there's another way to go with Red Hulk if you want to be more defensive and you want to give him more options in PvP settings. There's a couple of sets you can think of getting, but a couple of popular ones are ones such as Binary Power, which is going to interact well with his immunity, because when it's down and he can't trigger it, especially in something like Alliance Conquest, he's going to have that HP shield, and it's going to give him those additional bonuses. the recovery rate is also going to synergize with his heals. Another one is Stark Backing, which is going to give him a third heal, which might be a little bit excessive, but that's another option. And I think the last option for defensive sets would be something like Drastic Density, because it still offers max attack and max HP, which is very, very good. But then it also gives you that HP shield bubble, which is good when you're taking lots of hits and you can't trigger your third skill immunity. As far as Hulk goes, his gears are similar. He's got physical attack and attack speed, physical defense and movement speed, pretty much the same so far. He's got ignore defense, but he's got HP this time, which is really good because he needs that to stay bulky. And then he's got crit damage and crit rate. So as you can see, the stat that Hulk is missing, that Red Hulk was not, is skill cooldown. He doesn't have it natively on his gears, so you're going to need to fit some skill cooldown in on his Uru or on his ISO set. As far as the actual stats, as you can see here, you want percent by level for the first two. I need to re-roll this one. Then you want energy defense on the first two, and then all defense on the rest. HP per level, this is a much better roll than Red Hulk's. I should emulate that. And then HP for the rest. And then the last one is going to be either ignore defense, excuse me, or crit damage, whatever you need more. He doesn't need skill cooldown. As you can see here, I have 37%, which is over the cap, and that is with Hawk's Eye. Hawk's Eye is probably not the best set for him, but it is an option if you do roll it and you want something offensive. But very similar to Red Hulk, you can basically go one of two ways. If you want to go offensive, something like Power of Angry Hulk, or Overdrive is probably your best bet. If you want to go defensive, then something like Binary Power or Stark Backing is going to offer you the most. I think that Binary Power or Drastic Density, the ones that provide the HP shield, are more valuable for Hulk than for Red Hulk, because Red Hulk has an immunity that he can trigger with his 3-star skill. Hulk does not. And so I think Binary Power and Drastic Density will get more of their total value potentially in PvP modes, especially when it's autoplay, whereas Red Hulk could trigger his 3-star skill while Drastic Density is up, and then you're kind of losing out because you have two skills, shout out to the motorcycle, at the same time. As far as the obelisk goes for Hulk, you want something similar to this, but maybe change out the dodge ignore or ignore dodge. You do need recovery rate to help out with the heal. Something like max HP would be fantastic, and then you absolutely need an invincibility obelisk to keep him alive, so those heals can keep on proccing. Unfortunately, he's not really good for Extreme Alliance battle, so getting a damage proc obelisk is really just not going to do much for him. His skills all do pretty much even damage. There's not one skill that spikes his damage a lot, so the damage proc is not really that valuable, and the heal combined with an invincibility proc will really elongate and really extend his lifespan in either a PvP or PvE environment. Similarly with Red Hulk, because of the fact that he has a self-buffing leadership, because of the fact that he deals pretty decent damage with a lot of his skills, he doesn't need a damage proc on his obelisk, and he's not competitive for Extreme Alliance battle. So again, you want something with invincibility. However, unlike Hulk, you do want to roll for something with immune to guard break, and the immune to guard break is there to stop Red Hulk from getting interrupted, especially when he's doing his 3rd skill, but also his 5th skill. His 5th skill does a lot of damage, but it takes like multiple seconds, 3 or 4 seconds to animate, so you don't want to get interrupted midway by someone's punch or someone's attack, so you do need immune to guard break and invincibility. Recovery rate is just gravy on the top. If you can get an obelisk like this, this is probably perfect for Red Hulk. As far as the Uru go for Red Hulk, I don't have any equipped right now, but you probably want to go for 2 physical attack and 2 HP Urus on all 4 of his slots, and then that last 5th slot you can select with whatever you need extra of, whether it's ignore defense, that purple one, or skill cooldown if you need it, or crit damage if you want some extra burst. Probably best to stay away from niche things like recovery rate and stuff like that. Similarly for Hulk, which I do have the Urus, you want to go for HP and physical attack, and then on the last stat you just want to give him whatever he needs, whether it's ignore defense a little bit extra or skill cooldown to cover up your sore spots. As far as where you can find these characters, unfortunately neither of them are farmable in the traditional sense. All of their bios are only obtainable through chests in the store, which you can kind of reread as bio selectors. Anytime you get a bio selector from the Alliance store, from Shadowlands, from any source, you can use them on either Red Hulk or regular Hulk. So you basically just have to choose which one you want to build up. I would say that I think at tier 1, Red Hulk is a better investment because of his leadership and how unique it is. It does apply to other characters like Hellstorm that you might have for the Doctor Strange quest, or Satana, or Angela, or Ghost Rider, or Robbie Reyes, whereas Hulk just provides a traditional 30% leadership. However, if you are trying to improve your Extreme Alliance battle score for the villain combat day, and you have this World War Hulk uniform, which does change Hulk into a supervillain, it will be compatible with Carnage to boost his attack if you don't have someone like Ulick or Crossbones built up. A final mention is that I think both of these characters are viable against World Boss. However, I think that at tier 1 with this uniform, Red Hulk is definitely viable against most World Bosses. He will struggle a little bit against Infinity Thanos and Black Dwarf until you tier 2 him. However, I think at tier 1, Hulk is extremely ill-equipped for World Boss. He doesn't have enough healing from his passive. He doesn't have the 35% decreased damage received, so he's going to die fairly quickly. At tier 2, he becomes much tankier, and he can hold his own with the right leadership like Thanos's, or another one that provides all attack and all defense like Kid Kaiju or Wasp or something like that. Finally, guys, I would say that overall, I think my ranking would be Red Hulk number 1, Hulk number 2. I think overall, Red Hulk is in a very good state in the game. He performs well, and he does things uniquely enough to make him a valuable character, and also an interesting and creative character that you can kind of mold in different ways, whether you want to give him HP Urus to kind of boost that heal, or you want to give him, you know, attack and crit damage Urus to kind of balance out his survivability. On the other hand, I think that Hulk is not in a good state yet. He definitely needs a better uniform because the list right now is pretty pathetic, and he does need some changes to his skills to provide him with some form of survivability or some kind of burst damage to make up for the fact that he basically has zero survivability whatsoever. No iframes, no immunity, no invincibility, no invisibility, just plain old vanilla skills. For that reason, I do hope that the devs take a closer look at Hulk and maybe model some of the changes that they made for Red Hulk on Hulk. Maybe with his Ragnarok uniform, we'll finally see the kind of changes that he deserves, because I know he's a beloved character and he deserves better. So let me know what you guys think of this dual character review. Let me know who you think is better between Hulk and Red Hulk. I know that they've been performing for me absolutely fantastically in Alliance Conquest. I do have invincibility obelisks on both of them, but I have been surprised pleasantly on the Twitch live streams by how much weight these guys pull. They kill teams stronger than them quite often, and it's just awesome to see Hulk ripping through enemies like paper and not dying because of that obelisk. So let me know what you guys think, and of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.